What's good, people? How's everybody doing out there? This is Clay coming from Mettle Labs again today, and I have a special guest. I have Miss Shelly in the city. So, how did you come up with
Hey.
that name there?
Um. so my government name is Rochelle.
Okay,
Um. So my nickname is Shelly. That's what a lot of people call me. Um. I do a lot of traveling,
okay,
and so just kind of came up with the concept of like, um, how can I like, I guess like correlate, my name with something that's kind of different and
okay.
stand out, and so I just figured Shelly in the city.
I like that. I like that. Okay, so since you threw it out there that you like traveling, what's your favorite places that you've been to?
Ah, so my favorite place that I've been to all time is Brazil.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, that's
Yeah,
pretty exotic.
yeah, very exotic. I got a chance to go to Brazil as a foreign exchange student in middle school,
Mm.
and so we were able to visit Brasilia, which is the capital of Brazil,
Okay.
um, the Amazon rainforest,
Okay.
and
That's different.
yeah.
Did you see any animals? What'd you see?
Oh, did we? We actually had a chance to uh, hunt for alligators.
Hunt for 'em.
Yeah, so the
Okay.
forest was like so flooded.
Yeah.
We were like canoeing in the treetops, literally.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you say hunting for the alligators, like you all had like a spear
So
or
let
like
me
a
say this in full transparency. Watch someone hunt for alligators. The guy was like in our canoe and he like reached down in the water really fast and
Okay,
got a
okay.
baby. Yeah, we just watched.
Okay, all right, all right.
Yeah.
And I suppose he was a little fella. He wasn't like an
Definitely.
8 foot
No, he definitely
alligator.
he was
Okay.
he was like a baby. But that was like a
Crocodile.
unique experience because you hunt at night
Mm-hmm.
and you look for their eyes that looks like lit cigarettes.
Mm.
Yeah, so it was
Okay.
kind of scary, but definitely wouldn't do it as an adult. But
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. You say the eyes look like lit
yeah, they
cigarettes?
look like
Like
lit
somebody
cigarettes.
smoking a J and you just
And you see like how it's lit from
yeah.
the front. That's how their eyes look at night, and so that's how they're able to identify like where to grab.
Got you.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So Brazil, Brasilia,
in Bahia.
yeah, and Bahia. Okay. So how would you said you did that in middle school?
Yeah.
Okay. How did that shape your life? Like how's that how did that experience, you
Um.
know?
So that wasn't like my first time traveling.
Okay.
I used to dance with a really popular dance group, myself and my sister when we were younger, called Brand Car Dancers,
Hmm.
over out of the Eastern Branch Boys and Girls Club in
Hmm.
Southeast, and that afforded us an opportunity to like do a lot of traveling.
Mm.
I've been to Spain, and all of
Mm.
this was like before the age of 12 years old.
Aha.
Spain, we had a chance to perform at the opening ceremonies of the '92 Olympics
Wow.
in Spain.
Okay.
Morocco, Africa, Bahamas. Um,
Wow.
yeah, so we did a lot of traveling at a young age, and so
Okay.
I just knew that traveling was just something that I would want to do in life.
Interesting. That's what's
Yeah.
up. And so, like, would you say that like those early experiences of traveling, like, how do you think that like shaped up like your view of the world, or like how you were growing up and who you've become today?
Definitely had an influence on my train of thought because coming from the inner city in DC, you don't really get a lot of those type of opportunities. Like
Mm.
you'll be happy if you get to Orlando, Florida,
Yeah.
or Atlanta,
Right.
and so like I just knew that I wanted to see more.
Hmm.
I wanted to see more. Like I want to go to every country if I get a chance.
Yeah.
And so like I took a break from traveling as I got older because you know school and starting to get involved in other type of activities, cheering and stuff like that. But um, as I kind of got into my adult phase, I'm like, okay, it's time to travel again.
Got you. Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely, it just gives you like a different aspect on life. Like you go to these countries and you see how people are living, and it just makes you appreciate, um, it just makes you appreciate what we have, even though it may not be much. It's always somebody that's like going through way worse or have
Yeah.
less than than what you have. So
That makes sense. Ice Cube has a song on one of his albums years ago, and he says, "My whole world is a 1 mile radius. I think every other hood is the shadiest." And so,
yeah.
like, if you imagine, like, people who don't get an opportunity to travel and see
Mhm.
the world, like, their whole world is just they hood or, their
Yeah.
block or,
Yeah.
just the area that they grew up in. Like, so you're a parent, right?
Yes.
Okay, so like, have you like tried to figure out ways? Did your children, do they travel with you or do you?
Sometimes
Okay,
depending on where I'm going and what I'm going for.
okay,
Because traveling can be a hassle, and I don't care where I go. It's always a hiccup with the flight, the hotel, the
yeah,
driver, something. And so, like, some of those experiences, it was best the kids weren't there, but I do take them sometimes.
okay.
Yeah.
You got any? You have any memories of any trips that went crazy, like with the travel or something?
Yes. Recently, March, took the kids to LA and didn't even know that it was the Oscar weekend.
Oh wow.
And so what was supposed to have been a 4-day, 3-night trip turned into a 7-day trip because we went to we went to the airport 2 days straight trying to get out, and flights were delayed and booked. And
Dang, yeah, that's a mess.
yeah, the Oscar fans came and took over LA.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah.
We I want to say maybe 2022 or 2023, one of them. Christina and I, we went to Morocco.
Okay.
And
Did you ride the camels?
huh?
Did y'all ride the camels?
Nah, we didn't do the camels. That was a missed opportunity. We didn't do
Okay.
that. But we were in Casablanca, and then we
Okay.
were in a place called Marrakech.
Okay.
And while we were there, we got sick.
Mm.
It like with a stomach virus.
Okay.
And how it showed up, because this was still like stuff was still kind of coming out of the COVID phase.
Okay.
And so because of that, I showed up. Well, we showed up with a positive COVID test,
Okay.
so they wouldn't let us get on a plane. So
What?
yeah, we had to stay for another week. Had to book
Wow.
arrangements and everything, and stay for another week. And and to be honest, like most people would think that you'd want to stay in vacation or quote unquote paradise for longer.
No.
But we was miserable.
When I had my mindset like, okay, I'm going for 3 days and I'm coming back. By day 2.5, I'm like, okay, let's pack. I'm ready to go. So
Yeah.
when you get a hiccup and you can't leave, it's like, please get me out of this place.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. All right, so give me a little bit of background about yourself. So where you originally from, and what do you do?
So, I am originally from DC, born and raised Northeast. Shout out to Northeast DC. I do a lot. I'm a jack of all trades,
Okay.
fortunately and unfortunately. Outside of my Shelly in the City, well, let me start with that. That's the brand that I developed maybe about 3 years ago.
Okay.
And the original idea of the brand was to just create my podcast, creating space for creatives. But I have like talked to so many people, film episodes, and I still have not dropped this podcast yet.
Wow. Okay. You're
And
just sitting on.
I'm sitting on content because it's like as time had gone by, my vision for my brand have changed, and so I'm going to have to like re-interview some of the people just because like I'm in a different and I'm in a better headspace.
Yeah, I like that.
And so out of that, I attend a lot of events. I meet a lot of people. I network with a lot of people. And in 2024, I've gotten into this acting / modeling.
Okay.
And that's something that I used to do as a kid. My mom would run me back and forth to New York. I used to be with an agency called A+ Agency. I don't even think they exist anymore.
Okay.
And so I liked that experience. But, like I said, I started dancing, we traveling, things just shifted. Okay. So once I developed my brand, I'm like, maybe I can get back into this acting.
Okay.
I'm meeting all of these people. Like, I can do this. I know that I can do this.
Yeah.
And so I did a photo shoot with an artist from D.C. shout out to Shelly the MC. She started her photography business. She photogenic,
Okay.
and I did a photo shoot with her like in March of this year, and from those photos, like my acting career took off. I
Okay.
submitted to so many different agencies and for roles, and it got me casted into a hair gig.
Okay.
Um, and so I got this hair gig, and they're like, "Are you willing to go blonde?" And I'm like, "What?" But I was for it.
Yeah.
And shout out to Savvy Salon in Baltimore, Tuesday McLean, the best hair colorist ever. Those pictures just like took off like a rocket.
Okay.
And so I was able to fortunately get casted for a couple of scenes for the Shy season 7.
Okay.
So y'all look out for the Shy season 7 is coming. A couple of Amazon Prime gigs, Netflix gigs that I had to do in New York.
Wow. Okay.
In Sign Studio, probably shows that I probably will never see, but just the opportunity.
Right.
And so things just have just been like taking off for me. Like literally, I have to go to Atlanta next week for a BET gig, and so I didn't envision this acting, but it fell in my lap.
Wow.
And I'm just going with it. Like I'm embracing it. I don't know like where it's gonna go, but I just feel like I manifested this the early part of this year, and things are just happening. So
congratulations.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you on that. Outside of that, I am a mom. I'm a soccer mom.
All right. Okay.
I'm just saying soccer. I'm being sarcastic, but I am a mom. Basketball, cheerleading, or just all kind of stuff. My daughter doesn't cheer anymore, but we did that for 5 years, and that afforded a lot of traveling back and forth across the United States, competitive cheer. And a mental health case manager. That's something that I got into when I was 21. My dad was like, "Hey, these folks hiring $20 an hour," and I was like, "Okay, that sounds like a lot of money for somebody that's 21 years old."
Yeah.
And I've been doing it over 15 years now.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
In and out. Every time I try to step away from it, I get pulled back into it.
That's what's up. Okay.
But ultimately, like I just like helping people.
Yeah.
I've experienced a lot growing up in this inner city, and I had to grow up really fast because I became a teenage mom at 17, and so I had to like navigate being a mom and going to Howard and leaving class, going to work, and trying to figure all these things out at a young age. And so with that, I was able to like learn a lot of the resources in the city.
Yeah.
And so when I got into the mental health case management, like I knew how to like connect with these people because either it was a lived experience or something that I was going through currently or something I had already experienced
yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's how I got into it, and that's what it's been for about the past 15 years.
Yeah, and I see how you got the name because Shelly's all throughout the city.
I'm everywhere.
Killing it out
like,
here.
I just can't. I forgot today was Wednesday, and when I looked at my phone last night, I was like, I got filmed tomorrow. I said, I'm tired already for tomorrow.
Wow. I get it.
But it's okay though.
Yeah.
Like it's all for the good. Like it's all for the good.
So let me ask you, as far as I'm gonna start with the acting, like so, because I'm sure there are a lot of people who aspire to get into that game and follow your footsteps. Like, what's that like? And is it something where like how do you deal with the nerves, the anxiety of like how you're gonna do and perform and things like that?
So I do get nervous because I'm going to like strange places that I've never been, and a lot of times I'm by myself.
Okay.
I'll give you an example. Going to the Shy set in Chicago.
So you got to describe that. What does it look like? You
First
pulling
of all,
up.
Shout out to the Shy because the Shy set is dope. I will say that it's more relaxed.
Okay.
It's probably the most relaxed set that I've been on.
That's what's up. Yeah.
And it's probably because it's a lot of people that are trying to do the same things that I'm doing.
Okay.
The food is good. All sets feed you. The sets feed you good.
Okay.
I don't care what set you go to. It's catered.
Like what type of foods they have?
They do it big. Like
Okay.
it'll be a breakfast spread. The chefs are like in your face
Okay.
cooking.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like so.
And they have like what? Chicken.
So they'll do breakfast.
Steak.
They might do like waffles, a variety of meat, eggs. You'll have all of your bagels, all of your toast, all of your juices, all of your condiments. They do it big.
Okay.
They feed you.
And how you gonna work after eating all
That's
that food?
what I'm saying.
You know what
That's
I'm saying?
what I'm saying. And then lunch is like 3 different types of meats,
Wow.
3 different type of sides. It's always dessert, cakes, cookies. It's like, you're right. How are you supposed to work and y'all are feeding us all this food?
Yeah. And I can imagine them they probably bring out the shrimp. I want to play the shrimp on that plate looking like this.
No, they have the guy like cutting up the roast beef.
Oh,
I'm like,
okay,
this is just too much.
Do they have like the little red light
Yes,
with it
they
while
do.
they cut it off?
They do.
Man.
They do.
Yeah.
So like, always look forward to like eating good on any set. I don't
Okay.
care what set you on. They have to like feed you, and then they feed the main characters.
Yeah.
They are like normally in a different tent, getting their own special treatment.
So you got a tent too?
Yeah, you in a tent. Yeah, you in a tent. You in a tent. They have like makeup, hair and makeup. So you come, they doing your hair, they doing your makeup. You go to wardrobe.
Yeah.
They normally tell you like what to bring.
Okay.
And you show them a couple different outfits. They may say, okay, we want this shirt, but we're going to give you these pants.
Okay.
We're going to give you these shoes. Or they may say, we don't like anything you have. We just going to redress you.
Gotcha.
So a lot of times I get jitters because I don't know if I'm bringing the wrong type of wardrobe.
Okay.
But, you know, they hook you up. They hook you up. You never really know what to expect on set because anything can go. Like, I've been on set and we wrapped at 12 and they like, hey, we need 29 people to stay for another scene. That scene don't end till 1 a.m. I didn't miss my flight, had to spend the night at the airport, all type of stuff.
Okay.
So it's just like, you never really know.
Yeah.
You never really know. You do get paid, you know, for your overage.
Okay.
I haven't been blessed with a role where they accommodate hotels and all of that yet, but it's coming.
That's
I know
right.
it's coming.
Speaking into existence, sister.
It's coming. But I mean,
go.
I just appreciate the experience. I meet really dope people on set. I will say that I have friends that I've made in Chicago and New York. I know I can get a ride back to the airport.
Okay.
I done had a lady take me to her house and feed me and all of that before my flight came in the evening. So like, you meet some really cool, genuine people.
Yeah.
On set, and they like, you from DC? You came all the way? Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I came all the way here from DC because most of the people are there locals.
Yeah, I get that. It's funny. It's something about like when you on your journey in life, and when you like doing like what you call to do, you run into people who are like inspired and they're receptive and they're open and like they're authentic and vulnerable.
Yeah.
And so like you it's easy to kind of develop like some good connections.
Yeah,
with
it's like
people.
the
It sounds
vibe.
like that's what's
It
happening.
instantly clicks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I definitely appreciate like these experiences that I've had in this short period of time in 2024. So I'm speaking into existence, but I know 2025 is gonna be crazy.
Okay. So what is that's the next thing. Like, so what is like, you know, what do you want to try to accomplish in 2025 around and we're still just kind of talking about the acting part right now. So.
I mean, I want to like land a role.
Okay.
Like I want to land a role. Like I look at TV shows and so I look at all the Powers and I look at The Shy and the Raising Kanan and a lot of the BET shows. I'm a fan of all of those type of shows.
Okay.
CSI Miami and Law and Order. So like in my mind, I see myself in certain roles.
Okay.
And so like when I say I manifested to be able to be a part of The Shy, I did.
Okay.
I had a chance to be a part of Power Force, but a lot of times with these gigs, they let you know the last minute.
Okay.
And I just couldn't get to Chicago in 24 hours.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
But I mean, like I see myself in a lot of these roles.
Okay.
Like, and these people are acting, but some of this stuff is like my real life. Like I didn't witness it, I didn't seen it, or you know somebody close to me. You know, so it's like I feel like I can land me a role in
Okay,
2025.
good. I'm gonna be praying for you for
Yeah,
that
I
as well, and
appreciate
hopefully
it.
it's gonna be like one of those good shows, like one of them
Yeah,
solid
that's what I'm
ones, and
saying. I'm like,
nothing on like Winky Dinky
I'm trying
TV and
I'm trying
nothing.
to
Yeah,
get up on Mr. Curtis, aka 50 Cent
that's what's
Jackson,
up.
because I need me a role on the Power
Yeah,
Network. Yeah.
and didn't what did they opened something in like Louisiana or something,
So
Shreveport? What is
yeah,
that?
Shreveport. He opened up his like filming facility.
Mm,
So I don't know. Like one thing I would say about this acting, it's like a cult.
mm,
It's like who you know
gotcha.
type of thing.
Yeah,
And so I'm gonna stay down until I come up. I'm
there
gonna
you
run
go.
into the right people.
There you
Like
go.
I have to go to Tyler Perry Studios next week
Mm,
to film for 4 days. So I don't know. I might run into somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. So
yeah,
I'm always prepared.
yeah.
I'm always prepared.
Hey, get in there and win friends and influence people.
Yep.
That's what you do.
Bring
Yeah.
it home for our city.
Okay. All right. And then so like, um, so let's bring it back a little bit towards like the towards the city and some of the things that you see happening. So, what's it like being a mother raising children in this climate right now and the things that are happening and the internet and
Mm.
like these are things that our generation um, we didn't have to deal with like all of the exposure that they get
Mhm.
through from social media and things like that. But
Yeah.
what's that experience like?
Um, it's tough, and you definitely have to make sure that your skin is tough as a parent.
Mm,
It's a lot going on in the city right now, from the violence to the politics to stuff that's going on in the schools, and like these kids have a lot. They got a lot of pressure. They got a
mm,
lot to deal with. Like you said, we didn't have. Um, we had some of this stuff, but
yeah,
it wasn't as exposed.
yeah,
Now it's like these kids can get on this internet and you can be what you want to be,
mm,
and
that's
that
right.
can be good or that can be bad.
Bad, that's right.
Um, like cyberbullying,
Hmm.
it's a lot. Like you have to worry about whether your kids are getting back and forth to school safe.
Right.
If they
Yeah.
are on public transportation.
Yeah.
I just read something recently about an incident that happened on the school bus. So it's like you don't even know if your kid is safe on the yellow school bus
That's right. Yeah.
anymore. So it's like that's just part of the pie. Getting to school and then getting through a school day. All the kids really learning.
Yeah.
All the teachers really teaching.
Right.
And then the violence is just OC right now. Like I empathize.
Yeah.
Empathize for the kids and for the parents too, because you read a lot of this stuff on the social media when they these blogs post, and it's just always negative, negative, negative. That first thing people say is, where was the parent, or couldn't be
Hmm.
me, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, you can't say that because you don't really know like what's happening or
Right.
what happened. Like
Yeah.
you could be at work
That's
minding
right.
your business, and your kid could be at school shooting somebody.
That's
How
right.
you gonna
Yeah.
blame the mother?
Yep.
How you gonna blame the mother?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
something that kid chose to do.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's a lot. It's a lot on the kids, and it's a lot on the parents, and it's just like I just pray every day, like
Yeah.
God keep my kids safe.
Yeah.
Because it's just like every day you reading something different. It's just like, is it gonna stop? Like,
Right.
is it gonna stop at this point? Like, not when is it gonna stop? Is
Is
it
it gonna
gonna stop?
stop? Yeah, I get that. And it's an interesting thing with the style of parenting because some parents they raise children to survive,
Yeah,
and some parents raise children to thrive,
yeah,
and they can be. It's almost like a walking on a fine line, and it's a balance.
yeah,
It's just like this: if your child came home and said, Mom, I want to learn how to mountain climb,
mhm,
or something else that's risky, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our natural reaction is to tell them no, because
Yeah.
that's dangerous, right?
Mm-hmm.
But giving them an opportunity to like learn in an environment and be vulnerable and test their limits also is the skills needed to
Mm-hmm.
learn how to thrive.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So just for example, right? Um, uh, there are a lot of children and a lot of young people who would be afraid to stand on a stage or go to a set and act.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why is because it was drilled in them as children. Don't go up, don't go nowhere and embarrass me.
Right.
So that's
Right.
in their
That's
brain,
in their mind. Right.
And so like I'm gonna turn that into a question, like like how have you gone about like balancing teaching your children, making sure that they're street smart and that they know how to survive, but then also preparing them to be able to seize opportunity and chances
Mm-hmm.
in the world?
Balance is definitely important. It's like it's more than important because, like you said, some parents and styles are different.
Yeah.
A lot of parents parent traditional, like how they were brought up,
Mm-hmm.
or how they great grandmother or grandmother raised their mother.
That's right.
And I just feel like in 2024, you can't exclude. You can't just be like parenting out of a narrow view,
That's
right?
Yeah.
Because especially if you have more than one child, like
Yeah.
I have to parent each of my children different,
Yeah.
right? You can't parent the baby how you parent the 18-year-old.
That's right.
You can't parent the 4-year-old how you parent the 20-year-old.
That's right.
And so you have to teach these kids some type of balance. No, you don't want to you don't want to raise your kids on survival mode. Unfortunately, a lot of kids are born into trauma and into situations where they have to survive. But it is important that your kids know both, because they have to know how to survive when they're in school, when these situations are, presented to them.
That's right.
Or while they're on the subway.
Yeah.
You can't just baby them either.
Yeah.
Because it's like when they are presented with these situations, they gonna fold.
That's right.
They gonna fold. They gonna crack under pressure because they don't know. And I'm a realist parent. I don't sugarcoat. I don't play, like I said, because I became a parent so young and I had to figure a lot out on my own.
That's right.
And as I was growing with my first child, I was still learning.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm teaching him as
I'm
learning. And so it's like you have to have that balance, because it's like coming out of this city is cold. This city is rough. It's rough. And I'm glad that I had that balance, because I can teach not only my kids, other kids that I have to engage with.
That's
because
right.
it's like it's easy to get you'll be lost.
Yeah.
You'll be lost. You'll be lost. I call it code switching. Because you have to know how to present yourself in the job interview.
Yeah.
But you also have to know how to defend yourself as
That's
well.
right. Yeah.
And I'm not saying defend like you get in a fight, but I'm just saying in any day-to-day situation.
Yeah.
You have to know how to walk in a place of business and go to a counter and say, "Excuse me, ma'am, my name is so and so.
That's right.
I'm here for X, Y, and Z."
Yeah.
And if they don't give you the response that you want, you need to know that it's not okay to flip out and start cursing and all of that.
Right.
And so it's you have to instill these things in your kids, because if you don't, they're going to have a hard time as an adult.
Yeah. And like you're saying, teaching them these skills at an early age, it reminds me of the idea of people talking about bullying now. You know? And I know that bullying is such it's such an important conversation, but to be honest, I think it's a little bit overdone. And the reason why is because I grew up, we got bullied.
Yeah.
I'm sure that you had your own experiences kind of growing up, and That, but what that did was that taught us how to navigate in the world.
Yeah.
You know, like you're not always going to be able to fight your bullies. Sometimes you need to just be able to know how to manage an environment like that.
Yeah.
And I think that nowadays, the idea is that all bullying needs to be confronted. And I think in some situations it does.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just better to just move around it.
Yeah. You just
figure
gotta know
something else
which
out.
battles you are to fight and which one.
Exactly.
You don't have to fight all of your battles.
Exactly. And a lot of the people, we work with a lot of folks who dealing with reentry, who incarceration and things like that. And a lot of them, regrettably, them fighting against their bullies or fighting against the powers that be cost them and
Their
cost
freedom.
their children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So again, like that idea of teaching someone how to survive versus thrive, like that's a, kind of an important skill to kind of have. And so.
And then another thing to add to that is just the survival versus the thriving and the self-control. Because
that's a powerful one.
This not having self-control can cost you your life or your freedom.
Yeah.
And just going back to you saying you work with a lot of reentry, and my experience working in this mental health field, I've worked with a lot of males and females that are re-entering back into the community. And when you hear about the unfortunate story of why they, had to be incarcerated, it's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what could you have done different?
Yeah.
Or you could have just walked away from a situation, took your L gracefully and walked away.
That's right.
But instead, you chose to react, and your reaction cost you your freedom. And
That's
a lot
right.
of people don't have self-control. They don't teach their kids self-control. And that's why these kids are out here just going out of control.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say it, but it's the truth. Like, because somebody picking on you at school, you can't come back and shoot up the school.
No.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
Or a bully took your coat.
Yeah.
And now a shooting happened when everybody walked out of school, or you get into an argument with the neighbor. The neighbor comes outside, you done caught somebody.
That's right.
And now your neighbor's dead, and now you responsible. Yeah. Like, it's like people just have to learn self-control, because these small decisions will cost you a lifetime of problems.
That's right.
And I think that is like really, really important. It's really important.
And to just what you said, like, especially when you have to deal with people and confrontation, things like that. Sometimes you can win, but you lose. And then sometimes you can lose, but you win.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Like the guy, the incident that happened over the weekend at Jasper's. Two young black brothers, and one of them took another one's life. And, and it sounds as if it was over a confrontation or disagreement, but both of them lost.
Yeah.
There's no winner in that.
Somebody lost their life, and somebody's going to be in jail probably for the rest of his life. And you're talking about fathers leaving their kids, brothers leaving their families, sons leaving their mothers. Like, it happens so frequent. It happens so often. And it's really sad.
Yeah.
It's sad because people are not, like, taking a step mentally out of a situation just to, like, cool out. Like, you got to know your limits, and you got to know your triggers. When I feel myself getting to a certain level or something's making me mad, I cut it.
Yeah.
Whether that means get your bag and leave, let's go, we out. Because I don't want to find myself in a situation where I'm tricked out of position. And that's what's happening. A lot of people are being tricked out of their position because they don't have self-control.
That's right. Now, let me ask you, is this a skill that you matured into, or was this something that early on you kind of had a sense of how you kind of wanted to navigate, or you just kind of had an inner voice inside of you that'll tell you to slow down in certain situations?
Yeah, I've kind of always been like this. Like, my parents instilled certain things in us. Like, I come from I have 5 siblings. I'm the oldest girl. So it's like I've always kind of been like the little big mama, right?
All right.
So like everybody, they call me about everything, like, so it's like I kind of had to have that skill. Even before I became a parent, I just kind of have that skill, like I'm the mediator. I'm playing liaison.
Yeah.
The peacemaker, things like that. And
Yeah.
so like once I became a parent, then of course I gotta use that skill times two because now I gotta make sure I'm cool. For my family.
Yeah.
And so um that's something I've been trying to instill. It a little rough with my boys.
Okay.
But it's just something that it always. That's a skill that's never gonna go away.
Okay.
It's just not.
All right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Would you
I gotta have a peace of mind to be able to maneuver in anything in life. So if
Yeah.
you can't be like a hothead
Yeah.
and think that things are gonna be peaceful for you because they're not.
That's right. That's right. And that kind of ties in a little bit. So, talk to me a little bit about some of the work that you've done in mental health, and like what were like some of the main challenges that the folks that you've worked with. What were some of the big issues that they were dealing with in their life?
Um, a lot of my mental health clients. One thing I could say in common about them all, they just want somebody to talk to. To be honest with you, like people that have mental health issues, a lot of times they have a stigma, and so it's like it's already put out there like this person, they bipolar, they got ADHD, or they got schizophrenia. So certain people don't know how to deal with people like that, and the way that they deal with them is normally like shutting them out or being rude or something like that. And so I just always believe that you just have to meet people where they are.
Right.
And so like I used to like dress up and go to work every day, and I was so young, and the clients would be like, "You can't tell me nothing. You a baby." And I was like, maybe I should stop like dressing up. Like maybe I should put on my my Nike sweatpants and my Jordans so that I can look like them.
That's right.
And it makes them feel like, oh, okay, she's like me a little. So maybe I might talk to her a little bit. And so I work at a lot of different agencies over the city, and I work a couple agencies in PG County, and I've worked with ex-offenders, people that kids have been removed from Child and Family Services, people that are homeless, trying to help them get housing, people that need Social Security, people that them and their kids have mental health issues, and so it's like a wraparound thing. It's like you can't really address one thing without the other.
Got you.
But one thing that I did learn is like, because I experienced a couple of burnouts over the years, because it's like you get so caught up in trying to help these people, and it's like you got your own stuff going on at home, and I stepped away from it for about a year because I was having some personal things going on with my son, and it was just hitting too close to home with a situation I was dealing with one of my other clients. I'm like, I'm trying to help her navigate and tell her what to do, like, and this is my reality, and so it's just like these people, they're real people just like us. They got the same issues that we have going on. We just took the initiative to want to help them.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's like I don't look down on them because they have a mental health issue. Another common thing is a lot of times they don't like to take their medication. That's like a major thing. Yeah. They don't like to take their medication. So if I can get you to take your medication, that's a win for me.
Yeah.
I had a couple of clients where they would get their medication administered through a shot every 30 days. Yeah. That's a major win. Yeah. Because I just got to worry about you taking it one day out the month versus every day.
That's right. That's right.
So, I experienced a lot working in this field. I had someone kill someone before. Yeah. And that I think that was like an eye opener for me because I'm like, sheesh, like, people really are suffering, and going through some things. But all in all, like I said, I just keep finding myself back in this field. I don't know why, but every time I say I'm going to step away from it, I find myself in some type of capacity still just kind of like dealing with it. I used to work with an organization called Training Grounds. Shout out to Training Grounds, to Lori and Tom. And I was like their youth program manager for 5 years. Okay. And I worked over in the neighborhood over 22nd. It's referred to as Deuce Deuce. and we had a summer program, and we had 55 kids,
Mm.
and it was a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot dealing with 55 kids with staff. These kids come into camp with wearing all type of battles on their back,
Mm.
mental health,
Yeah.
trauma. So
That's
it's
right.
like I said, every time I step away from it, it still comes back.
Comes back
It
to
still
you.
circles back. I took a position with Child and Family Services right before COVID hit, trying to help families reunify. Mental health.
Yeah.
It still comes back. I mean, I just believe that I believe everybody deals with some type of mental health in some capacity. Even like me and you.
Yeah.
Like,
That's right.
I think everybody should sit down and talk to a therapist.
Exactly. We actually have, like, here at Metalworks, we actually, you know, I need to put a banner up, that everybody who comes through our door is both an expert and a client.
No, seriously.
And literally everybody. So, and I'm quick to remind staff, you're a client too.
Yeah.
You just might not be receiving services here.
Yeah.
And every client who comes in is an expert, because only they know what they've gone through.
Yeah.
And can explain or express what it is to experience what they experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's important for us. One of our philosophies is to make sure that everyone understands that we're all on equal ground.
Mm-hmm.
So even whether or not you are whether or not you're the doctor here, and you're a first time client who's experiencing psychosis,
Mm-hmm.
you guys are on even ground.
Yeah.
There is no hierarchy based off of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's been that's allowed us to be relatable to a lot of our clients. But to the point that you said, I mean, there's another thing too that I firmly believe. I believe that we as human beings, we know what we know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know how to tie my shoe. I know how to, I know how to talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I know then the things that I know that I don't know. Okay, I know I don't know how to fly a helicopter. I know I don't know how to be a mother, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then there's a space of things that we don't know that we don't know.
Yeah.
And it's in that space where that causes us a lot of our suffering. Because we're only operating from things that we know that we know,
right.
or we know we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, if I were to ask you, what would be the fastest and most direct way for you to become the greatest star, actor that you possibly could?
Mm-hmm.
That would be in a space you might say, well, I know I don't have the relationships.
Yeah.
But the truth is it's probably in this it's probably in the space where you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Because if you knew it, then it's like, okay, well, if I know that I need to get closer to 50 Cent now,
Yeah.
then you could do something about it.
Right.
But it might be like tomorrow in Silver Spring, they can get ready to set something up. And if you went there tomorrow,
I might. Right.
Right.
Okay.
So,
okay.
That space of you don't know that you don't know. But I certainly can hear in the things that you say, and the life experience that you have, that, like, you seem to be like one of those people who was kind of called to be a helper, to be a healer, to be someone who is a champion for those who are suffering and who are hurting. And, like, can you share a little bit about, like, how did you come to the realization that this is who you are?
I think the first time that I had, like, I would call it a burnout. Mm-hmm. And I had like 30 clients, and my caseload was just going haywire. Like, everybody had a lot going on. And I told my supervisor at the time, like, I need to take a break for about a month. Mm-hmm. Just to kind of reset. And after about 2 weeks, I was just like, because my clients were calling, we need this, and can you do this? And I was like, let me just go back to work, because if I don't do it, if I don't help these people, nobody's going to help them.
Right.
And it's not fair that I'm taking a 30-day break, And so that's when I realized, like, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Because I couldn't even, like, I wouldn't say enjoy my 30 days because it wasn't for vacation. It was really for me to just kind of like mentally reset, but and regroup. But I couldn't because I just wanted to go back and help these people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. You call for this work.
Yeah.
How do you translate that sense of like activism and wanting to help those in need into like your acting? How do those intersect?
Um, I don't know.
All right, that's what's up.
That's a I don't know question.
Yeah,
That's something I
okay.
need to think about.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this. I was on a set in New York, and I met some people. It was their first time, and they were like having a conversation like they don't know how to get casted for more things, and so I went and sat with them, and I started like giving them like emailing them and texting them links to like casting agencies, and I told them like, listen, this is what I do. I submit to 5 things a day. I don't care what they are.
That's what's up. Yeah.
And I told them like, go on Facebook and type in this, and go on Instagram and type in this, and Google these companies and find their email address and create you a generic email and email them that email with your headshots. I said, I promise you. And so I guess that's an example of still like helping people because it's like I can't get away from helping people.
That's what's up.
In some type of capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fly right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And again, like hearing like you were talking about earlier about how when you've been in Chicago and other places, how people have opened up to you and brought you to their house and fed you.
I don't know these people from McCann Pink, but I feel like I have a spirit of discernment. So like I know when I meet you, like whether I'm gonna bang with you or not. So she was just like, well, your flight not till 7. You could go to my house. Well, come on.
That's what's up. I love it.
Come on. Fed me, took me to the airport.
Yeah.
Watched the show of something a project she had done.
Okay.
And all of that. Her kids was there. It was, real chill. It seemed normal.
Okay.
So it's like I always meet these good people.
Okay. I love it. So, all right, let me ask you this. Like what type of things you do for R&R? Do you have any hobbies? Do you what fun type of things you like to do? I know you said travel.
Yeah.
And I am going to eventually ask you like what some of the next places you want to go to. But before that, I just want to see what hobbies or
I'm big on family. Like I said, I come from a big family, but outside of my sisters and brothers, we have a big family. We do a lot of family. We on family time a lot.
Okay.
I got nieces and nephews. We do things with them.
Y'all do family reunions? And
we haven't done.
Can y'all do all like this little Soul Train lines and stuff?
So
okay.
we do a lot. We just had the silent disco going on for Thanksgiving. We
hold on, a silent disco?
Yeah.
What that look like?
So it's like you have to buy the headphone set, right?
Okay.
So it might, let's say for instance if it's 50. So 25 of you will be listening to one song.
Nah.
And then the other 25 listen to something else.
So it just looked like chaos?
Yeah, because everybody dances to their beat. Yep. Yeah, we do a lot. I like movies.
Did y'all record that? Y'all had to record it.
Yeah, we recorded it.
Did y'all put it? Got to be somewhere.
Probably on somebody's Instagram.
Okay.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
Yep. I mean, I go out.
Okay.
I like music. I like to dance.
Okay.
As I told you. Travel. I just like to do fun stuff.
Okay.
When we were younger, we skied.
Okay.
My parents took us on a ski trip every year.
Okay. Did you have skills?
Yep, we ski, and so my kids ski.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like ski club on the schools.
Okay.
I'm talking about 5 and 6 years old. They was
wow.
climbing down the top of the mountain.
Okay.
Up in Seven Springs. So yeah, we do a lot of seasonal things.
Now some people say they ski, but then you check them, and they be in the lodge with the hot cocoa near the fireplace.
We can ski.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad was in like a gentleman's club,
That's
and so they put on this bus trip every year. So as far as I can remember, we went every year, and then I started taking my kids, and then we do the beach thing in the summer. We go to the amusement park. Like I'm a big kid.
Okay.
Whatever is fun, I'm there. Like if time permits, call me. I'm on the way.
Okay.
We do the sky zones and the bouncy houses, and we do all of that.
Okay.
So my kids keep me young. So
Okay. So now getting to back to the travel since we started with that. What's your top 3 bucket list trips?
um, Paris,
Okay.
Bali,
Okay.
and so to be honest, I got to cheat a little bit with this question because every place that I've gone, I want to go back.
Okay. All
I
right.
want to experience as an adult.
Okay.
So I didn't let you know that I've done Australia and
Mm.
Belize.
Oh wow. Okay.
Um, I went to Australia uh, with a church trip.
Yeah.
So it was more like I was a tourist.
Mm.
So I don't know if I can stand that 16-hour flight though.
Yeah.
But um, Belize, I went to Belize in 2019. That was pretty dope. That was really dope.
And so you want to go back to?
No, I don't have to go back to Belize.
Okay.
I did Belize. That was nice. I played basketball with some kids.
Mm.
They didn't have no shoes on, so I took my shoes off
Oh wow. Okay.
and played with them.
And could you play with no shoes on?
The ground was so hot.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, but I definitely want to go back to Brazil. I won't be doing no alligator hunting.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
for sure. I want to do Dubai.
Okay. All right. Oh, hold on. Let me look at this list here. So Dubai, Paris,
And Bali.
where the motherland?
Well, I'm gonna probably go back because Morocco is the motherland.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the motherland.
Okay. All right.
One trip at a time.
Yeah, I get that.
That's my bucket list.
Yeah.
So with all these acting gigs, the math gotta be mathing. The
There
money
you
gotta
go.
come in.
I get
so
that.
When the money start coming in, then I
Okay.
can plan these exotic trips.
Okay. So y'all hear that you producers and all that? Pay this lady. Give her the money. Talk to me a little bit about law. I think it's put on. It was requested for me to ask you anything about law.
Law. So believe it or not, when I first went to Howard, my major was political science because I wanted to be a lawyer.
Okay.
After my first semester, to me it was boring.
Okay.
I guess my idea of going to college was like you was gonna jump straight into the classes that relate to your major. It just I wasn't feeling it. But
so you went in. It started as law, and then it turned into Lord.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yep. Law. I mean, laws are definitely needed.
Yeah.
I do feel like some laws are a little bit extreme, and I do feel like some should be like tightened up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's a question I've never been asked.
Okay.
That's a question I've never been asked. But you do need to know the law.
Yeah.
You need to know the law and you need to know your rights. I will say that.
That's right.
Because I feel like as an African American woman, and I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for myself and my experiences. We get taken advantage of a lot.
Yeah.
And it's because we don't know the law. We don't know the law. You hear things and you see things about people have lawsuits every day, and they win.
Yeah.
They win off of petty things. Like I just heard last week about somebody suing Canada Dry or ginger ale because it's no actual real ginger. And they're gonna win. And I drink ginger ale every day, and I'm like, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
Like,
And how much is that bag gonna be?
I don't know, but it's just the principle. Like, we don't know our rights, we don't know the law, so it's like we get taken advantage of every day.
Yeah.
Every day. I mean, only from day to day, all you think about is the driving. Make sure you put your seatbelt on. Make sure you're on the stop sign. Make sure you're on the red light. But there's way more laws than that.
Yeah.
There's way more laws than that. People break the law every day, but a lot of times people of authority know that we don't know the law, and they take advantage of that.
Yeah, that's the truth. And especially in the Black community, the law has been used against us so much.
Yeah.
You think of Jim Crow.
Yeah.
A lot of those things were laws. Like, you could not drink from the white water fountain, and that was a law.
That's a law.
Like they will lock you
And
up.
laws are about to change for us
Yeah.
really fast. And so it's like these are things that people don't think about.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, I don't talk politics, I don't talk religion because people take that stuff to the heart. And it's
Yeah.
okay if that's your thing, but I just feel like you can't sit back and complain about certain things if you're not part of the solution. If you're not like doing your due diligence
That's right.
or your part. So like I don't.
Okay,
I don't
Michelle
be wanting to
Obama.
hear
Like you are you out there? You going? Were you out there helping people get the voting?
Nah, I
Okay.
wasn't, but
All
I
right,
did vote. But
Okay.
it's like I don't want to hear it
Yeah.
because did you vote?
Yeah.
If you
right.
ain't vote, then we don't have a conversation. Like
I'm
I don't
with
want to
you
hear
with
it
that.
because you didn't
Yeah.
do your part. I
Yeah.
heard a lady told me like DC votes don't count. What do you mean? Did you look at the election map?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Democrats won DC. DC vote do count. So it's
Yeah.
like people don't know the law and they don't even take the time to want to know it.
Yeah, that's right. You
So
right on that.
don't come talking nothing ignorant to me and you don't know what you're
Yeah.
talking about. Like
Yeah.
I don't know all of the law, but I know enough
Yeah.
to know that what you're saying don't make sense.
Mhm.
if that makes sense,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's my take on the law. Learn the law.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you'll be taken advantage of. Like
Yeah.
a lot of our guys, a lot of our youth, they got charges, they fighting charges,
That's
they in
right.
these jail systems, and you hear about people get off of these charges. You know why? Because either they took the time to read the law and found some loopholes in their cases, or their lawyers did.
Yeah.
So like, learn the law.
Okay.
That's some advice that I'm gonna leave to whoever is watching this.
Yeah. So when it comes to like with acting and things like that, I can imagine there's a lot of like legalities and law around like the contracts that you sign and
Definitely.
stuff like that. So how do you what's that whole world and universe like?
So there's a thing in the acting world where if you're union or non-union or SAG, right now I'm considered non-union, and I'm sure I qualify that I can become a part of a union, but right now I'm kind of enjoying this non-union wave because some of the gigs that are offered, they will tell you we only want non-union or we only want SAG. And so SAG get paid a little bit more than non-union. On set when it's time to eat, they can eat first.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's
what's
like
up.
stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I have to learn that law before I say
Yeah.
I'm going to pay these union fees and join SAG. I don't
So
know
you get
that
the
law
front
yet.
of the line. You can tell them, give me that turkey leg.
Yeah, sometimes
It's
they
only
get
2 of
offered the
them.
roles first, or they get
Okay.
the better roles. So
Yeah.
law is involved in
Okay.
everything. It's involved in everything. I know this year and last year you heard about a lot of actors like on strike
Heard about that.
because I don't know everything about it, but I think it was because they felt like they weren't getting paid enough money. So like I feel that, because this is these people career, this their livelihood.
Yeah.
I have to hustle right now because I don't make a lot of money. It's a lot of times it's pennies, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I look at the bigger picture.
Right.
Sometimes I take gigs that don't pay because I'm looking at
Exposure.
the exposure and the
Yeah.
opportunity to build my
Right.
resume so that I
Yeah.
can get a gig that I'm paid,
Yeah.
and so it's like law is in everything.
Yeah.
Law is in the streets, in the school, in your home, like law is everything.
Yeah. Okay. That's a deep one. Okay. What street law look like?
Street law, I mean, depending on where area you come from, because this street law that's going on now, this ain't street law.
Nah, it ain't.
They on something different.
Yeah.
I mean, now I'm not from the streets, but I grew up, around, the streets, and I'm not green. I'll say that.
Okay.
And so I know that it's certain things that you read about or you hear about now that would not have been accepted, in another time,
Right.
in another era. So it's just like, I don't know what it looked like, because it seems to me like you can kind of make up your own laws or code around the streets. And depending on who you are, they gonna accept it or they not.
Yeah.
So I can't really speak on that. Like,
Okay. All right. So we talked about the next trips. We talked about the in 2025 getting more more gigs.
yeah.
Okay. What's the holidays looking like? And how do you how do you what type of preparations you got to do to be ready for Christmas and all that?
We do a lot of holiday activities.
Okay.
They go look at lights
Okay.
and go to like Christmas tree lightings
Okay.
and ice skating at the National Harbor, things
Yeah.
like that.
Okay.
Put up the Christmas tree, the stockings,
Yeah.
bake the cookies. Just straight family time. It's to me, it's more so just about family time. Of course, the people buy toys for kids for Christmas. That's just automatic. But I just like the holidays, the Christmas pajamas, the Christmas music. It's the end of the year, it's the end of the quarter. It's just time to kind of like wind down and reset for the new year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Miss Shelly in the city,
Yeah.
I appreciate you for coming by and
No
hanging out with me today.
problem. I really enjoyed this.
I'd love to have you come back.
For sure.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready, just let me know.
All right. Thank y'all.